All right, so we've showed you how to plant the Grayson rose after it grows for about 8 weeks after you receive it into a pot. Now we've moved outside to show you the similar technique, if not the same technique, but how to do it outside your house.
Exactly, and this is a great spot because it gets lots of sunshine, like we talked about earlier.
Full sun, but you gotta have morning sun especially. If you don't have it all,
if you don't have it all, morning sun is perfect. You got it. Now, the first thing you do is got to dig a hole, which this one just was here, so we thought we'd use it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just random, just random hole. Matt actually doesn't do physical work. How deep is a great question, because a lot of times when you read in the rose literature, they say you want to dig a rose hole 2 feet by 2 feet. Now, whoever wrote that's never lived in the South, because that involves small explosives.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're not going to get a 2 by 2 foot hole.
No.
The reason for that was, again, a lot of the roses that were sold before, the more exhibitors roses and the cut flower roses, are not particularly strong plants. They need a lot of nutrients and other kinds of soil. This is a bush. So generally the soil that you've got is fine. Just dig the hole big enough, maybe a little bit bigger than the pot is about all I go for. If you've amended your soil, if you're planting it in the garden area, you don't have to worry about it. So don't dig a big hole, only a little bit bigger than the pot itself.
Okay.
Now, the principle for planting it in the ground is the exact same thing as planting it in the pot.
Gotcha.
All right? Same kind of thing. We've got the hole done in there. You rest it in there to see about our depth, which is about right by the time the soil level's in, then the mulch goes on top. So you'll start by slipping it out of the pot, placing it down in there.
Remember how to do that?
Upside down.
Drum roll. Palm out.
Lucy, oh, palm
Respect
out.
the root ball.
Respect your root ball.
Be gentle with the root ball.
Exactly.
Hello, root ball. Okay.
Yeah, put your hand, there you go, nice.
Do you
There,
need potting
perfect,
soil
look at
first?
that. No, because we were at a pretty good depth right here, and this is already in potting soil. Now, what we did, the soil that came out of the hole, which somebody left piled over here for us very nicely.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable. We took some like planting mix, planting amendment, organic compost works, just some sort of amendment basically. We mixed it about 50-50, and you'll just start taking this and start putting it in the exact same way you do with anything else. Exactly, Ramona. You start working it around like that, and then just kind of, you know, sort of tamp it down a little bit. And to tamp it down again, we're going to go maybe about, you know, a ½ inch deeper than the soil level of the existing plant, just to give it a little bit more stability.
That's the standard rule of thumb on replanting it.
And one of the reasons it does that, you can see now we're starting to bury some of these multi-branches. And when it gets windy, it's got a more stable base than if it was just a single branch by itself.
So you want some more?
Yeah, we'll put a little bit more. It prevents what they call wind rock. All right, that's pretty good. And then the last thing you want to do is whatever mulch you've got, you go ahead and sort of gather that around it. That keeps that root zone nice and cool and moist. And again, organic fertilizers work, time-release fertilizers work, anything along those lines. I've also got, just so people know, if they want to know now what do I do over the first year, what about pruning and stuff like that, on our YouTube site, and we'll show you that on the screen right here where to get to that, there's about a bunch of videos on your own root roses first year, what to do for the first year, how much to prune, how much not to prune. We also advise people get in touch with us via email. You can also email us through the YouTube site. But there's a lot of support videos for what to do now that you've got the rose planted.
One quick question. Is this the kind of thing you put a little stake in there, tie it up, or do you just let it go?
Over time, you'll let it go. Now, this is a young plant, so staking it is not a bad idea, because if you get a really wind up here, it could snap off.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wouldn't hurt at first, but over time, this rose is completely self-supporting. You won't need a stake.
Gotcha.
That's basically planting the rose when you get it. Just remember, put it in a slightly bigger pot. Yes?
I got one more quick question. Some of us ordered multiple Grayson roses.
And we love you.
How far apart do we, if we want to make like a shrubbery thing, how far apart do we put them?
I put them 2 feet apart.
Okay.
Yeah, because what they'll do is they'll grow next to each other and sort of into each other, but not crowd each other out, and it'll end up looking like a mass effect of one big plant. Great. Which is a very beautiful effect.
Got it.
Yeah, 2 feet. If you do it a hedge, if you're doing it a group in a triangle, 2 feet apart on center, you should be just fine. That's it.
Very good.
And that's it for planting the Grayson rose.
Happy growing, and thank you so much for picking up a Grayson rose.
Thank you.